Hello there. Good morning, afternoon, and evening, and welcome to the review of the Genshin event Lanter Rite 2022. So this is the second part of the review, as there is one for the first impressions on the first day, and now we're doing the full review as all of the content for the event has released today, 31st of January. And yeah, we're going to continue on from where we left off, and to see how the new stages and the mini games, the continuation of the story and everything did to either help or maybe didn't help with the event, So yeah, as an overall review, this Lanter Rite was extremely worse, I would say, than last year's. In general, in Genshin Impact event terms, it was fine. Just fine for the last couple of events that we had, especially the major event of a patch. But compared to last Lanter Rite, which is, last year, I am extremely disappointed. I just absolutely hated this Lanter Rite. I'm not going to lie. And yeah, let's begin with the story. I can't really do anything. We have to spoil the story. The story is out for you to go watch, do anything, but I just didn't like the story because in the end, part 1 was pretty meh, but then part 2 and 3 of the story were just the classic stupid absolute thing that these writers have been doing for so long in events, where it's the Fatui, it's the treasure hoarders that are causing trouble again. It's like, oh my god, just please stop doing that. Come up with something new, for fuck's sake. Why does every story have to end with, it's just the Fatui, it's just the treasure hoarders? It's so dumb. And there are so many, things that could have fixed this. This is just a stupid Scooby-Doo ripoff, to be honest, because, in both ways, the main character, the traveler, is like, everything would have been fine if it wasn't for you meddling treasure hoarders, and then the treasure hoarders are like, everything would have been fine for us if it wasn't for you, the meddling traveler. It's so dumb. And just wow. They have Kachink as the face of the event, kind of, because she's the only character that follows you around, and they really want to, sell you Kaching as the face of Liu as well, because, well, of course they added the skin, so they want you to buy the skin, right? But, Moonchase, she was pretty much a very, big force in the story there, and now she is kind of the main role of the story, because, let's be fair, the Traveler, of course, is a plank of wood, and they do nothing. The Traveler has one freaking line in the whole thing, for fuck's sakes, make the poor thing talk. It's a plank of wood. But yeah, the thing is that Lanter Rite is also, as we know from last year, a thing correlated to Xiao, and he shows up for 2 seconds in the last cutscene, and that's it. And it's like, yeah, so much connected to Xiao, it's so bad. Because last year, we had the combination of Xiao's quest to Lanter Rite, and it was a very nice and kind of original thing. You get to meet Xiao because that's when his introduction came in, right? He fights off demons, and then you have this random-ass NPC guy who's trying to bait people, let's say, to thinking that he is also a Yaksha, right? That he is also a demon fighter and such. Right, the fake guy, and that was actually kind of nice. He's a fraud, and then you get Xiao, and you tell him there's this guy that is a fraud and stealing people's money basically, and then Xiao was like, all right then, let's make him go crazy. Let's do a freaking ritual and summon him as a ghost and freak him the fuck out, and that's awesome. That was fun. Right, that's a good story, but nope. Now it's just Scooby-Doo find the culprit who stole the fireworks, baby. It's like, wow. And this Lanter Rite, right? Lanter Rite, it's a bit about Xiao, at least, Xiao lanterns and everything. No, today's and this year's Lanter Rite is about fireworks. And it's like, fireworks? Where's Xiao? It's about fireworks. Yoimiya, the Inazuma, and the whole fireworks thing? We're doing it again. And it's like, wow. Just Really, huh? Really original, I must say. But yeah, they just, for these big events, let's be honest, they are just using they're using them as a reason to just put in all of the Liyue characters and then just tell you, hey, here's the Liyue characters, pull for them, if you don't have them. And it's like, yeah, just a PowerPoint presentation of all the Liyue characters. That's basically what these events are. Moonchase was the same. At least the Dragonspine event in the last patch was not like this because it didn't have all Mondstadt characters and they actually had an interesting story. But if celebration events are the only, like Windbloom and such, they'll just use that as an excuse to just bring in all the Mondstadt characters and then just have them say one thing and then bye-bye, pull for us if you don't have us. And it's like, come on. Like in the last part and the second part a bit, they give you to like what is called Chinchi Village, and they have there's Xingqiu and there's Chongyun, but they just sit back and do nothing while Keqing takes the spotlight. Of course, I wouldn't say the Traveler. Why not have Xingqiu do something as well? It's not as if he's the Hydro Archon with usability rates skyrocketing because he's just so good with Pyro characters. So everybody knows Xingqiu and they like Xingqiu as well, so why not bring Xingqiu to do something as well instead of just Keqing? Well, but Keqing is a 5-star, it's harder to get her compared to Xingqiu. Of course. And yeah, I mean, like the last cutscene is good. There's good character interactions with themselves. Beidou and Ningyan are fucking lesbians and there's a good dialogue there. Like there's Xingqiu, Chongyun, Jianling. There's of course Hu Tao and Zhongli, the Wanshan parlor. Hu Tao is her cheery self and everything. Like that's good. There's Baizu, you motherfucker, come into the banners, you shit. And Chi-Chi, of course, they're going everywhere. There's Ganyu, Shenhe, and the Adepti, singing with Madame Ping. That's good. That cutscene is good, but I'm not seeing that when I'm doing the event. I'm not seeing that. And it's like in the second part with the story, like you go around Liyue to just ask people, again, Xiao appears for 1 second, it's your time, Xiao. And like more time is spent on Ganyu and the Cloud Retainer compared to Xiao. It was like, damn. Just damn. And here's the thing. In this part, the last part, you got the Oceanic Defense, which is against Bestaya. It's against Osayo's wife. Right. The thing that you fought in Shenhe's quest. The thing is, why the fuck is this not the focus of the event? You have this last part, like the last challenges, be around this boss fight. Why not just make it part of the event? Huh? Why not make it that the one who actually threatens to cancel Lantern Rite or turn it into a bad memory be Osayo's wife, which makes sense and is a good plot. Then you can have Shenhe's quest in it, just as they did with Xiao, and also bring Xiao in because he also has to protect Liyue as well, right? Bring Xiao in and you're done. You can have plenty of Liyue characters as well by saying that, have you noticed anything? Everybody's like, something's bad is gonna happen, anything. Like, you can have anything and just bring in the other characters to just say their one dialogue thing. It ain't gonna change anything from what we got this time. But again, just have the overall plot be, hey, Osayo's wife threatens to cancel the Lantern Rite, because this is the time where everybody celebrates, everybody has their guard down and everything. So, time to strike, bitch! But no, shitty treasure hoarders again. And then randomly put in the challenges with the boss fight in the last day. No, not at all. Just have the first 1 and 2 days be about building the Jade Chamber just as it was with Shenhe's quest, and have Xiao be around, because he was around in Shenhe's quest. Actually, he was in one scene. You could go talk to him, but that was it. But have him have a more big role, because Lantern Rite again is about Xiao. He is involved in it. Right, have him be there. Have the Jade Chamber rebuilt during the days of Lantern Rite, because it's a big celebration. He's also a big surprise to the people of Liyue with a very, an icon of Liu being the Jade Chamber that was destroyed. Here it is rebuilt, and then have Osial's wife, try to cancel it, and you fight it, and then you have the challenges, and it's like, why do I have to think of better stories and better connections to the events than you guys? Than you, miHoYo. Like, it's so dumb. And I'm just extremely disappointed in the story, that's all I'm gonna say. So then, we get to the minigames. So, not much has changed, of course. There aren't, the only new thing added was Oceanic Defense, which is just the Osial boss fight with a few challenges. So let's tackle them one by one. The fireworks minigame. It became so annoying. Holy crap. I did not believe that I would get so annoyed by this minigame. The first stages, that was fine. But the second and third stages that were unlocked in the specific days, I got so annoyed. Why? Like, the core idea is perfect. You have to manage the flame, you have to manage the techniques you're using to fill the progress bar to the specific spot. And as the days went on, they added more characteristics to the fireworks that you needed to manage. The first time it was 3, then 4, then 5, like color, height, and everything. Good. My problem is that the increase in the progress bar was random. And it was so random at times that I got two very different results by doing the exact same thing. And I just got so mad where I just needed to restart and restart and restart and restart until I got the perfect amount from these increases. And I'm not talking about the techniques that say the progress bar will increase slightly to moderately. No, I'm talking about the first 3 that say, if you choose this option, it will go slightly, it will go moderately, or it will go, like, highly. And I'm like, yes, I want to pick this because I have just a tiny bit of progress bar. I put the flame on low, and I just want to fill in a small amount. Oh, it filled more. Oh, you did it again, it filled less. And it's like, why? Why? It's so annoying. And it just reset after reset after reset. I'm doing this shit on the Abyss, the reset after reset. Why do I have to do this on the stupid minigame about the fireworks? And if you fail in the last one, right, if this random amount fucks you in the last characteristic of the firework that you have to do, then you're gonna have to do it all over again. It's so annoying. It is so annoying. And it gets you so mad that it ruined, the later stages completely ruined the fireworks minigame. It really got to my nerves. I don't know about you, but I noticed this random increase thingy, and I just was like, ooh, this is just, again, annoying. So yeah, the fireworks minigame became worse. And then we have the shadows minigame. So the shadows minigame basically remained the same. It was fine. Again, as I said in the first impressions video, I would have liked it if it was more like last year, where you would do the shadow, it would give you a hint, and then you had to go find something. Go watch the first impressions video as I explained my idea there. But the later stages were just more things to do. They added segments to the items that you had to move separately. That was fine. The only one that got me annoyed were the 3 last ones. They were the hardest for sure, and without the hint system, it would have been basically impossible to get them. The one that I got very annoyed though was the very, very last one, the crane, because I couldn't do it. I was like, why am I at 99% done? I can see the hint showing me what the picture needs to be, but how they have it is that you can move. There's 3 segments: the head, the body, and the legs. You can move each one separately, but then you can also move the head and the legs together in order to align them horizontally. The problem is, those legs will never align correctly as the hint tells you to, because you cannot get the head and the legs in the correct positions. You can only get one of them in the correct position. And so when I did it completely randomly, the legs just teleported in the middle of the screen, because the only place that I could have them where the head was in the right position was pretty to the leftish of the body. But no, they just teleported in the middle. And that just made me laugh so much, like it was so badly done. It's laughable. So yeah, the Shadows minigame was fine. I wouldn't exactly say that its difficulty was, it's fine as a casual minigame, and the hidden system, because of the way they made it, wasn't needed, I guess. But that last crane was just, I don't know who made that thing, but they needed to, it needed more work in the oven. And yeah, I know that those, the last three, didn't give you Primo Gems, but that doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if the reward is Primo Gems or not. If it's badly designed, it's badly designed. This can appear on a shadow game that will give you Primo Gems. You never know if in the future that would happen. So yeah, the shadow minigame needed a bit more things. As I said, with last year giving you the map for the treasure, and my idea being that you could perhaps have it point to you to an object hidden in Liyue, and then you could go find it. Just a bit more gameplay instead of just the shadows, and the crane thingy was just laughable. Then the last minigame that we had before the Oceanic Defense was the boat thingy, where you had the camps with the treasure hoarders and the other minigame with the balloon. I've already expressed the problems with the treasure hoarder camps and the balloon minigame in my first impressions video, and that didn't much change with the second part of this minigame. It was the same thing, just one or two challenges with the balloon, and then a few like camps of treasure hoarders. For the third part of this thing, there's a challenge now in Guyun Forest where you go and activate it, and you need to defeat a certain amount of these elite treasure hoarders in order to finish the challenge under a certain amount of time, and that's, it's basically kind of like the Abyss, and then you get rewards based on the time remaining or time it took. And well, it's fine. It's a combat challenge. Once again, the problem that I have is the thing that I had with the normal camps is the fact that they just introduced a mechanic that isn't needed. It's just complete artificial difficulty with the whole get the fireworks to disable their resistances and deal damage to them. It's just an annoying mechanic to be added. Just have them, as I said, be tankier, also bring in new moves to these elite treasure hoarders, and then just make them, again, tankier with more health and maybe more resistances, and that's it. No fireworks, no nothing, and you're done. Just create a good enemy. You don't need artificial difficulty if your enemy has good combat. And yeah, I mean, that's about it. The challenge was very easy for my Hu-Tao team. I mean, I know not everybody has a Hu-Tao team, but it wasn't much, I would say. I just killed them. There was like one archer elite guy that literally jumped back 3 times in a row, and if there wasn't a wall, I bet you he would have jumped more times into the freaking sea. It's the jump back that I think some treasure hoarders have, but it's the same thing that like the Kairagi have, the samurai guys, where they jump back. It's exactly the same thing, and he just did it 3 times in a row, just completely avoiding my attacks. And I'm like, again, if there wasn't a wall, he would have gone to the sea. And if he was Jesus, he would have just continued on the water. I bet you. So, yeah, I don't know why the third stage was so different with this challenge, and there was no balloon challenge or anything else, but it didn't hurt, let's say, this minigame like the fireworks one did. And last of all is the Oceanic Defense, which is with Oshaio's wife. The boss itself is pretty fine. I don't know how much I like that one at a time the heads appear, but it's fine. It actually has some good attacks and some fine enough mechanics. I'm fine with it. Right. Again, it just feels so randomly placed inside of the event. Because, why not have the event go again as Shenhe's quest is also going, where Oshaio's wife appears, and then it's naturally tied into the event, and that's it. The only problem really that I have with this thing is that one of the challenges is to play the thing 6 times, and I think that just 6 times of this boss fight can be pretty annoying, so I would have reduced it to 4 and max 5. And yeah, and you need to do it 6 times for the Primogem. So again, it can get pretty annoying, I must say. So yeah, 6 times just a bit too much. But overall, the boss fight is fine. 6 times in a row can get a bit boring, and I kind of don't like how there's a cutscene that always and always plays when you defeat 2 of the 3 heads. It didn't need to be a cutscene. It could have just been an animation, really, if I'm honest. And actually, I skipped it. I skipped the trigger for the cutscene where it locks my controls by doing a Huta ultimate and killing the second head. So, yeah, it didn't need to be a cutscene. You could have just made an animation, if I'm honest. You don't need to lock the player's movement and abilities and everything just to show Oshayo's wife just going, ah! Like, you don't need to do that. And the only other thing is that the camera is just a bit zoomed in. They could have just zoomed it out, because when you have a gigantic boss fight, you need to be careful with your camera. They did it finally with some... Azdaha is just the frog is meh with the camera, but Dvalin does it well, where the camera is plentifully zoomed out. So I would have liked it if the camera was just a bit zoomed out, so that I could see all of the arena and where the heads were spawning. That's about it. The Oceanic Defense was fine, just badly tied into the event. And it unlocked in the last day. Why did it unlock in the last day? Why wasn't it available, throughout all of the event? And that's again where you could have just had it be the first time you met Oshayo's wife, where that's when the attack happened, and that's where the challenges come in. That's why it unlocked then, but they didn't. So, conclusion, much worse than previous Lanter Rite. The minigames were boring, they were bad, and the story was much worse than last year's. So, yeah, I would like to know what you think of this event. If you liked it, that's fine. If you liked the story, that's fine. But, we need to address where problems lie. We need to address those problems. We can't just have every story be, it's the treasure hoarders, it's the Fatui, we can't have that. You had the fine enough story with Oshayo's wife being on the attack to Liyue. Just tie that to Lantern Rite. Why was the first Lantern Rite story so original with Xiao, but the second one was so bad and cliche? Why was it like that? So, yeah, that's it from me. Like the video, subscribe if you like, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.